Satnam and welcome to class number 6 in the Learn Gurmukhi series. Today we are going to look at similar looking letters from the Gurmukhi script. The first set of letters that we are going to look at, the way to write them is the way we write number 3 in English. Let's see how many different letters can be made by using this particular form. For example, if we just write number 3 in English and put a line on top, then it is the alphabet ta, ta. A good way to remember this letter is that the number 3 in Punjabi is called tin, which starts with this very alphabet ta, ta. Next, if you write the number 3 and then curve it all the way up and touch it to the top of the letter and close it with a line, it becomes the first letter of the script, Uda, U. However, if you curve it but keep it open on top, then it represents the letter O, the sound O in the Punjabi script. For example, Om. Now, instead of curving, let's say we put a little circle at the bottom, just like we write the alphabet D in English. Then we get the Gurmukhi letter D, similar to the one in English. D for dance, D for dinner, D, damru. For the next letter, the way my teacher taught me is that when you see a little circle in the middle, it represents a really big fat tummy, like that of a palu, a bear. So it's a great way to remember this particular letter is that when you make a circle in the middle, it represents a very hungry bear. For the last one, we see that there are two parallel lines at the end of the alphabet, the same way you see parallel lines representing a road. A road in Punjabi is called sadak, ada. This is the same letter. Let's take a look at the next set of similar looking alphabets. Try to remember the letter pa, patang, papita. Now, if you write this letter and do not close it on top fully, then it stays as papa, patang, papita. However, if this letter is closed on top with a line fully, then it becomes the letter tanush. Let's look at the next two alphabets. In these cases, we are also going to add a line in the middle. Now, in the first one, if we leave it open on top, it is khulla. Therefore, this is the letter kha, khulla. It's a great way to remember it. The other one, where it is fully closed with a line, it is the letter thali. For example, it's been closed with a line that's similar to placing a thali on top. These are some ways that can help you remember these letters as you're starting to learn. Here's a great exercise for you all. Try to look for these 4 alphabets and figure out which rows they are a part of, and do a little homework for yourself and revise these letters as well as the rows. Let's look at the next set of similar looking 4 letters. The first one is how we would write tenka ta and put a line on top closing it, in which case it becomes tenka ta, tomato. In the next one, before closing it with the line, if we put a little curve, then it becomes ede, for example, it. In the third letter, we put a tiny circle at the bottom and therefore it becomes phal. In the last one, before closing it with the line, we put a diagonal line making it ana. For example, Kalyan. Try watching these slides again and again so that you start to become comfortable with these letters and you're able to A. Identify them correctly and B. Write them correctly. In the next set, there are two similar looking alphabets. In both cases, you draw a vertical line and then close it on top with a full horizontal line. In the first case, you write an inverted U, and in the second one, you write a full circle. The first letter here is Nanna Na, Nak, Nanna Na, Nimbu. The second one is Thatha Tha, Thand, Thatha Tha, Thela. Let's take a look at the next set of similar looking alphabets. Here, we start by writing the English letter V. On top of it, we close it with a horizontal line. For the first letter, you write something like an inverted U. The first alphabet is Lalla La, lamp. Lalla La, laddu. And for the second one, you write the number 2 underneath. The second alphabet is Chja. If you remember, this is a combination alphabet from row number 3. Chja, Cha, Charna, which means waterfall. Let's look at the next set of similar looking letters. Here we draw a vertical line underneath which we write what looks like the English alphabet C. On top, we always draw a horizontal line to close all the 3 alphabets. Let's take a look at the first alphabet. You write the vertical line followed by the English looking C as well as a smaller c right underneath it. Close it on top and this becomes the letter Vavva V in Gurmukhi. Vavva V Vaja. Vavva V Varkha or a vase in English. Let's look at the next letter. The next one, you write the exact same thing, but between the horizontal line and the letter, you add a little curve. In this case, the letter transforms to Nya Nya. Do you remember which row this letter comes in? Try to think about it and make a note in your notebook. The next letter in this series is written when you draw the vertical line with the C and then curve it back so that it can touch the bottom. In this case, it becomes Chacha Cha. Chacha Cha Chatri, Challi, Chat. In the next set of similar looking letters, the next 3 letters all have a horizontal line on top. A vertical line comes down and curves. Let's look at the variations. In the first letter, the vertical line comes down, curves, but doesn't touch the line. In the next letter, the vertical line comes down and curves, touching the vertical line. In the third letter, you do the exact same thing and add an additional line to the right side of it. The first letter, where the curve is slightly open, this letter is Ha 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 Hathi. The next letter, where the curve touches the vertical line, it is Ra 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 Roti. And the last one is Gagga Ga Gamla. The next 4 alphabets have a horizontal line with a circle. Let's look at the variations to understand how this is going to work. For the first 2 alphabets, there is a horizontal line on the top and a vertical line coming down on the right side. In the middle, a horizontal line comes out with a circle. When it touches the bottom of the vertical line, it represents the letter Cha-cha cha chammach. Chashma. In the second letter, you pull out the horizontal line, make a circle, but instead of touching the bottom of the vertical line, you simply pull it down. In this case, it becomes the letter Jajja Ja, Jahaj, Jalebi. Now let's look at the next two alphabets. In these cases, let's draw the horizontal line on top. You pull down the vertical line just a slight bit on the right side and then pull out the horizontal line towards the left with the circle. Now when you curve it to the bottom and leave it as is, it becomes the letter Dadda, Da, Dawat, Dal, Dukan. And when you curve it to the bottom and make a circle at the bottom as well, it represents the letter Tadda, Tadda, Takkana. We've come to the last set of similar looking alphabets, and in this case, they are the letters Sassa, Sa and Mamma, Ma. Let's take a look at how to write them. For Sassa, Sa, we are going to make a vertical line, a circle, and then pull it towards the right side. Draw another vertical line coming down, and then on top, close this letter with a horizontal line. This makes the letter Sassa, Sa. Examples can be Sa, CD, Sa, Sab. For the next letter, we are going to do the exact same process, but instead of fully closing it on top with a horizontal line, we put out two tiny lines on the left and the right, but leave it open in the middle. This makes it the letter Mamma, Ma. Do you remember which row this is from? Mamma, Ma, More. Ma, Makhan. Ma, Matar. With that, we've come to the end of the session on similar looking letters in the Gurmukhi alphabet. We hope you found it fun, perhaps a little challenging, but that's a good thing because it means you want to go back and do the homework to identify all of these letters correctly, understand their name, sound, the words which are made with these letters, and also try to write them correctly. We've done a quick recap for you here with all the letters and some associated pictures that will help you remember them. Try to figure out how to put these together, what the words are, and come back for the next session. See you in the next class. Om Sat Nam.